Hello, I'm Robyn Foss, and here's a quick artisan tip today. Blendables, what are they? During my Under the Canopy page sketch, I show you how to create a cluster with blendable elements. For some of you, this term blendable might be a new concept. If I look up it on the dictionary online, it says able to be blended. What does that really mean when you're working with artisan and you're creating pages? Let's just take a few minutes to chat about that. And I started in the digital art store, so I just put in the search area Blendables, and it came up with 33 pages of kits that have blendable elements. So I picked a few examples to kind of show you what they look like. This Autumn Colors collection by Cottage Arts has some elements that are blendable. If we look at the preview page, it shows you the beautiful papers. And these first few embellishments, I would find those as usable as a blendable element. As we get on to the later kits, you can kind of tell what I mean by blendable and not. These elements here have distinct edges. They're crisp, clear images, whereas these are kind of distressed and mushy. So that's kind of going to give you a feel for what a blendable element looks like. All right, so this Artful Lens element pack by Cottage Arts as well has both blendable and not blendable. So if we can zoom in just a little bit, they're a little fuzzy at this much zoom, but you can kind of see the difference between a clear, crisp element and one that's made to be blended. Fallen Trails scrapbook bundle has many pieces in it, and one of them is this blendable layers. So if I click on that, you can see these blendable layers that are in there. If we look at the kit, we'll scroll all the way up to the top. You can see all these beautiful papers that are included in the kit. And the first few embellishments are a cluster of blendable elements together. And again, these are not blendable. They're crisp, distinct elements. You could cluster them for sure, but they're not made to blend into the background. Okay? All right. This kit is a part of that larger kit, but you can see that if we go to the list of elements you get those clusters as well as all the pieces used to make those clusters. So maybe you don't want all of elements, just some of them. They can add a distressed look to the page or a pop of color without being like a solid strip of a piece of paper. Artistic License Blendable Snapshots bundle. She uses the blendable aspect on a page layout. So here are some sample pages using these templates where the photos kind of blend into the page by the edges not being distinct and separate. I do like using word art like this. It looks like a page from a book. Looks really great on a page. And you can see the pieces that you get. So this kit is a Traveler Blendable Layer Bundle. Has 4 blendable layers kits in it. And if we go to the next, you can see all of the pieces that are in there. So you can get one piece as all of them combined as one element, and then all the layers it take to build that, starting from the top down. Okay, and another one, and another one, and another one. So this is a sample album I put together of different pages that I've created using blendable elements to kind of give you what it looks like on a page. So I took that Katie Petit kit and laid it out as designed, and then I took pictures that I took on our trip and I replaced the embellishments that she had, and I used it kind of like a paint by number template to fill in the page, and I really, really am happy with how that turned out. So here's a cover of one of my albums, and you can see these ferns and leaves are all blendable elements. They're not distinct, they're not standing out on a page, but they do add a beautiful touch. Whereas these items are distinct, set apart, so they're not blendable. All right, again, more samples of using foliage as a blendable element. Here's a cover where I used some masks. I filled them in with yellow paper and I reduced the opacity. It just adds a bit of interest on the page. The star I filled it with yellow and blue, and it's just a touch of color and shape on the page and not this distinct item. All right, so on this page, there are both blendable and non-blendable. Like these are realistic stickers that look just like the food elements of pancakes and eggs, whereas these are blendable, kind of faded out images of silverware, not an actual piece of silverware they took a photograph of. And again, this edge border could be used like that as well. This is a page that's filled with a bunch of stickers, and then the background has masks that are layered on each other. Masks and overlays could be used as blendables as well. So these stickers are not blendables, but they're used as a cluster, whereas blendables are going to be something that has a little bit of distressing done to them, something that could be a more subtle element on a page. Okay, so this is a good example of blendable and not. So there was a background paper that was really beautiful by Cottage Arts, and I added some blendable elements to it to add a bit of color for the page. And then these butterflies are what you would consider not blendable. So here you can see the paper. So beautiful has lots of beautiful elements on it, but I just added a few more tucked behind the photos to add a bit more color to it, to pull out the colors I wanted to on the page. This is an example of a layout before I added the blendable elements. And here you can see I added some masks, embellishments that added some finishing touches to the page that weren't harsh, in-your-face stickers that stand out on a page, just very subtle. Even more subtle, if I scroll in, you can see this overlay. It's an Art Deco overlay by Jen Martakis, and I want to show you how you can take something that isn't a blendable and make it a blendable. So let's go to the next picture. So this is what that overlay looks like on its own. And then here you can see the difference where I took the original and then I edited it to make it look more blendable. So let's go to Artisan. Let me pull that up and we'll grab this and we will attempt to make it look like this page. Some ways that you can make things look distressed or used as a blendable element. One, you could take a regular sticker. So let's go to a kit and you can add an element to the page as a rubber stamp. And you can see how that is very pale and not a distinct element. You can fill it with colors or keep it this kind of gray color. That would be more blendable than the actual sticker themselves. You could also take an element on the page and distress it by, in the filter ribbon, artistic menu, the angled spray or fractal map. The one I used on this overlay to get this look was fractal map. I played around with some different options. So I started with heavy clouds and then went okay. And then I just went back and kept adding more layers. So fractal map. And we're going to go, let's see. I think I just did the same one. So high clouds. There we go. So heavy clouds, high clouds, and then each time saying, okay, filter ribbon, artistic. Then I moved into the mists. So I did mist 1 and mist 2. And back again, artistic, fractal map, and go down to mist 2. So very similar, but you can go and do that. And then let's say that's not enough. You can also add our angled spray, which would add kind of a distressed look for all the lines. Or on your touch-up ribbon, you have an erase brush, and we'll make that diameter really big so you can see it. So here's my brush. You'd want to do the pattern that's diffuse on the right, and then your opacity, you don't want it full. You don't want to just erase a line out of the page. What you want to do is reduce, and then maybe like if there's an area that's a little too visible still, you can smush it out and make it less visible without seeing your brush strokes while you do it. So kind of diffuse brush and low opacity can give you that look. I hope by watching this video, you have a better understanding what a blendable is. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.